Well, good afternoon, you guys. Would actually like to open up and just say happy birthday to my daughter, who actually turned 5 yesterday. So, just reaching out to her, Gianna. So, after that, I thought we did some good things against Indianapolis. A lot of things that we need to go ahead and continue to build on, which we're trying to take over, coming up to this week against Kansas City, and we're looking forward to the challenge against Kansas City and continue to evaluate these guys.
And where did you see the improvements on Saturday?
The improvements were, these guys are playing fast. They're playing hard. They've been doing that the last couple of weeks, so we're, excited about that. But just to see those guys, flip the field in terms of the punt situations, Britt did a great job giving us opportunities to go ahead and do coverage, coupled with the hang time in the distance, and those guys are getting downfield, being disciplined with their lanes. So it was encouraging to see them make a lot of plays in terms of that. Did some good things in terms of return game, but we left some yards out there, which I think we can continue to improve on. We had a nice explosive return on kickoff return, but there's still yards out there. Punt return, we had some opportunities, and looking forward to build on that here coming up this week.
What was the issue on Greg Joseph's missed 51-yarder? And has the NFL gotten to a stage where indoor stadium, a 51-yarder, that's one he definitely should make?
No, we know he can definitely make that, and I know that he can. I know he knows he can, and we expect him to make it, and he will make those. But I think I don't think. We talked about it, we talked about it, but the great thing about him is he came back, bounced back, and made a 49-yarder, and you can't just say, even though indoors you like those to, be guaranteed shots, but, at the end of the day, they're still a 51-yard field goal, and we know he can do that, and we expect him to.
Is there anything Britton did differently to have his success, or was it just, having a better game?
No, he had a better game, and we know that he's a very good, talented punter for our team. And in order to have the success that we want to have and that we need to have for our team, he needs to have those kind of days and do it consistently. But we just went back to the fine details and going back to square one, working on the drops this past week and just zeroing in on just focus on a few things and come back and have a great day because he's a talented punter, and we're excited with the direction we're headed right now.
Have you seen strides from Smith Marset in practices that kind of led up to that game on Saturday? Or?
Yeah, he's an explosive player. We see that as an offense, but as a returner, he needs a lot of reps out there, and which we're going to continue to build on. But yeah, he's working hard and trying to improve that. And in every situation, every rep is going to really help him to get to that direction and get to where he wants to be here coming up in the future.
The green light coming from that deep in the end zone on that kickoff return. What's the, pro and con?
And that's learning in those situations. He needs to understand the situation. We communicated that to him, and I can't blame. He was excited, excited for the opportunity, but he needs to understand. To be a returner, you just don't take everything out, and we got to understand the situation of the game, where we're at in the field, having that kind of awareness, and that's part of him growing as a returner, and that's what we're going to continue to build on.
Process on that changed in your time here, dating back to the days where it's Percy Harvin and Cordell Patterson? Obviously, the touchback has changed, but how much has the thought process changed, maybe because of those things?
And change in terms of
how deep you take it out, how many guys have a green light?
I think it could be a game plan thing. Won't get into too much of that, but the situation obviously right there. You're catching the ball, you're going backwards in the end zone. The hang of the kickoff, and that's all a feel that he'll go ahead and have as we move forward, and the more reps he has. But, he felt confident in it, but we need to make sure we just there's a clear communication and he understands the situation moving forward. But, and he understands that, and we'll be fine, moving forward.
So it's not as simple as, if you're 7 yards back, take a knee, more just feel out, if we're taking it to the right and the kick goes right, you can take it back from 8 yards deep, or
yeah, it'll be like a game plan. Per game plan. But yes, right now, we put them at 5 yards deep, and if you're headed backwards, then we'll go ahead and take a knee, and we'll live for the next day for the next rep. We want those situations where it's going to be, perfect for us to go ahead and get a nice explosive return. Because the last thing we want to do is making sure we're getting tackled, backed up in those situations.
How do you feel about having a reliable guy like Amir Abdullah around? It seems like last couple of years, Vikings have tried out a lot of young guys, but you always have Amir in the back pocket if it doesn't work out.
No, he's great to have around, and he's been a great leader for us, especially for the special teams, and great sounding board for the young guys. He's been very steady Eddie and consistent throughout the time being here, and we look for him to continue to grow though in this, because special teams he's only been playing for a couple years, but he's working hard, and he's being that reliable source for us out there, not only in the return game but also on the coverage phases.
Right, you guys talk about the importance of playing fast, and even offensive and defense coaches use that term a lot. How do you get that message across by more than just saying it.
I
How does
mean,
it click?
we got to emphasize it, which I think we're doing a good job with that. Coach is doing a great job pointing things out. But the bigger thing is we got to keep it simple for these guys. Got to limit the thinking on them, and just we pretty much just say we're not using the T word, thinking. I thought this, or I thought he was going to do this. No, we want to go ahead and make sure we're just covering, we're rolling, and we're just letting those guys. I mean, they're naturally athletic, and use their God-given ability to go ahead and let that take over and make plays. So that's what our job is, just kind of trim it down, slim it down for them, and so they can go ahead and play fast.